Hello children, today let's follow the story of Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled deep in the forest, there lived a lovely little girl who was adored by everyone, especially her grandmother. She always wore a red hooded cape that her grandmother had made for her, so everyone called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother called her and said, "My dear, your grandmother is ill. Take this basket of cakes and wine to her, but remember to go straight there. Don't stop to talk to strangers, and be careful on the way." Little Red Riding Hood obeyed her mother, picked up the basket of food, and set off happily. The path to her grandmother's house led through a dense forest, filled with towering trees and the cheerful chirping of birds. While walking along the path, Little Red Riding Hood suddenly met a large gray wolf. The wolf looked at her with cunning eyes but pretended to be friendly. In a sweet voice, he asked, "Little girl, where are you going with that pretty basket?" Little Red Riding Hood, being innocent and trusting, replied without suspicion, "I'm going to visit my grandmother. She's ill, and I'm bringing her cakes and wine." The wolf's eyes gleamed, but he kept his polite demeanor. "Where does your grandmother live?" he inquired. "On the other side of the forest, near the big oak tree, in a house with 3 oak trees in the front yard," the girl answered innocently. With this information, the wolf hatched a wicked plan. He said, "Look at those beautiful flowers over there, little girl. Why don't you pick a bouquet for your grandmother? I'm sure she'd love them." Little Red Riding Hood looked around, saw the vibrant flowers in the forest, and forgot her mother's warning. She left the path and wandered deeper into the forest to pick flowers. Meanwhile, the gray wolf ran straight to her grandmother's house. The wolf reached the grandmother's door, knocked, and mimicked Little Red Riding Hood's voice. "Grandma, it's Little Red Riding Hood. Please open the door." The grandmother, lying in bed and weakened by illness, didn't notice the strange voice. She called out, "Pull the latch and come in, my dear." The wolf entered, and before the grandmother could realize what was happening, the wicked wolf swallowed her whole. Then he put on her clothes, wore her cap, and lay in her bed, pretending to be the grandmother to trick Little Red Riding Hood. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood, with a large bouquet of flowers, hurried to her grandmother's house. She knocked on the door and heard a hoarse voice from inside, "Pull the latch and come in, my dear." Little Red Riding Hood stepped inside and saw her grandmother lying in bed, covered with a blanket. Surprised, she asked, "Oh, Grandma, why are your ears so big?" "To hear you better, my dear," the wolf replied. "Grandma, why are your eyes so bright?" "To see you better, my dear." "Grandma, why is your mouth so big?" "To eat you up more easily." The wolf roared, leaping out of bed and lunging at the girl. Little Red Riding Hood screamed in fear, but no one in the forest could hear her. The wolf quickly swallowed her whole, then, satisfied, lay down to sleep, snoring loudly. Luckily, a hunter passing by heard the unusual snoring from the house. Sensing something was wrong, he went inside to check. Seeing the gray wolf sleeping with a bulging belly, the hunter immediately understood what had happened. He took a pair of scissors, cut open the wolf's belly, and miraculously, Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother were still alive and stepped out safely. The hunter then filled the wolf's belly with stones, sewed it back up, and waited. When the wolf woke up and tried to escape, the heavy stones in his belly weighed him down and he fell dead. Little Red Riding Hood hugged her grandmother tightly and thanked the hunter. She promised never to forget her mother's advice again, to stay on the path, not talk to strangers, and always be careful. Afterward, she and her grandmother returned home and lived happily ever after. And that's the end of the story. The tale of Little Red Riding Hood teaches us about obedience, being cautious with strangers, and the consequences of not listening to grown-ups. It also highlights the importance of courage and the help of those around us.